The fact that he wasn't even her number one. Shall we even start there? And now she's even lying about it. I mean, it is what it motherfucking is, guys. Moving on. Hi, people. Welcome back. If it's your first time, my name is Talia Adewale. This is Despite Them. Today, we're doing episodes 5 to 8 of Love is Blind, Mexico. Sure to do all the right things. So let's just get into it. Shout out to at J Chester Prince 5905. You are the only one who said that you wanted more episodes, so this is exclusively for you. Honestly, had nobody commented on the last video, I would have just done I would have done obviously a catch up and then done the reaction to the reunion, but they said they wanted it, so here we are. As usual, I'm going to be talking about the couples, their developments throughout the entire episode. I'm covering each couple and just going throughout the entire episode, so 5 to 8. Then we'll talk about the two parties. So there was the meetup that they had, and then there was Sylvia's birthday, and then the wedding, fitting, the wedding dress and talks fitting. I did not really watch the guys' talks. Honestly, a talks is a talks. I really wasn't really bothered about those. But I always watch the wedding dresses because I find that there are fewer and fewer wedding dresses that I've actually liked for Love is Blind. But yeah, let's just hop into it. So let's start with Saul and Letty, who were basically on the rocks the last time that we left off. They totally imploded during the honeymoon. Alcohol is blame it on the alcohol. He was drinking too much, and when you drink too much, your tongue gets really, really loose. It's a normal thing when you drink. You get less cautious of what you say. You think less, and you just speak. So at the honeymoon at the fireplace, he was talking about Letty a lot. He was talking to Sylvia and some other people who were there. Letty wasn't even around when he started, laying it all out there for the world to hear. So Letty really felt judged, and she felt judged, and she didn't really feel protected by him. It does escalate. She doesn't sleep in the room. They don't argue. It's just cold. She doesn't sleep in the room. By the time they get back to Mexico, I don't know what happens. Honestly, I feel like they broke up at the honeymoon, but they told them to keep it together till they got to Mexico, back to Mexico, moved in together, and then officially called it quits. Now after there was a makeup party. What was I calling it? The meetup party at the not at the meetup at Sylvia's birthday. We see that they have reconnected off camera, and it seems like things are going well because she's wearing the ring again. They don't really dive into it. Honestly, we don't really care. I think being on camera was not doing anything for Letty. Honestly, it weren't working out for her. Let's put it that way. So I was actually happy that they said that, they connected off camera and they are trying to make it work. So, yeah. So moving on to the next couple, we have let's do Fernando and Karen. So Karen wanted to smoke on the honeymoon, and apparently Fernando does not like smoking, and that it will become a real problem for him if he goes to bed and the person smells like smoke or his clothes smell like smoke. And I'm like, what did you talk about in the fucking pods? Like, seriously. Anywho, she didn't care that he didn't mind that she doesn't smoke. She was more upset about the face that he made when she said she was going to smoke. Now, considering the way she even said it, she said, I'm going to do something that you don't like. You've already set him up, to dislike whatever it is that you're going to do. So him having a reaction to the way you set it up shouldn't, I don't know. I was just going around in circles in my head. It wasn't that big a deal. They talked about it in the morning. They squashed it. Karen is worried about her daughter and her future with Fernando. Just worrying about, wondering about integration. She kept saying throughout this whole thing, my daughter is my priority. My daughter is my priority. My daughter is my priority. And I get it. I really do. And I see where she's coming from. However, at some point during the line, I don't know that this will be a problem. I hope it won't. But at some point during the line, I feel like Fernando will start hearing, you're not important. Because let's face it, her daughter is definitely the most important thing in her life. But I also think that there's ways that you can phrase that coming out where it doesn't make your partner feel second best, because feelings are feelings. It doesn't really matter whether he understands that your daughter is the priority or not, you know? I just thought that it was a lot. She said it multiple times, and I'm not saying that her daughter should not be her priority. I'm just saying that communication plays a huge deal into the way things will work out for them, and I just think that she needs to include him. Like saying my daughter has been my number one priority for the longest time. It's going to be hard to break that pattern. However, I consider you just as much a priority as she is. Same difference, right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. When they get back, they get their phones. It turns out that Iris had sent a message to Karen, had sent her an invite as well. Karen does this twitchy thing. She definitely has a problem with Iris, but she doesn't want to come out looking like a bitch, so she doesn't say it. Facts. Because then they go on and send, she shows Fernando her picture. Obviously Fernando says that yes, Iris is a beautiful woman, but she's not his type. And honestly, when he said it, I believed him. I don't think there was any attraction in his eyes for Iris, so I'm not really sure what went down in the pods, but definitely production, I don't know, something sweet, because they were very much in love in the first two episodes, and all of a sudden it was just like no. Anyhow, they sent Iris a voicemail together. Why? I don't know. She sent one back. Karen eventually meets his mom, meets Fernando's mom. The mom balks at the fact that Karen has a kid. Not in a, oh my god, no, you're undesirable, but in a, do you understand the weight of what is going on here? You're not just marrying somebody, you're marrying someone who has a full grown child, or at least almost grown child. I think her daughter is either 11 or 14. I really can't get the dates. Anywho, overall, the meeting went well. The mother is really nice. That was the bulk of their own situation. Fernanda and Gerardo. I don't like Gerardo. I really don't. There's nothing that he has done from the first episode to the eighth episode that has made me look at him and say, yes, marriage material. You are the man. You is the one. Nothing. So I don't really know what it is that gets Fernanda all happy and hyped up about him as a person, but different folks, different strokes. The honeymoon was great. There was no trouble. The only thing, like, I still question during the honeymoon is the way he speaks about the other women, especially Karen. I'm not really sure what Karen did to him, but he definitely doesn't like Karen. That comes into play at the meetup. Gerardo meets Fernanda's mom, and she looks like she comes from money. Her mom is also, I think, a lawyer as well. So you best believe that there better be a prenup for that wedding. Even if I didn't like him, because she comes from money, I'm gonna be requesting a prenup. I'm not really sure. They don't really go. The only couple that were like brave enough to talk about that were Alexis and her man, Brendan. Brendan, yes. I think she finally had her baby now. I don't know. She's been pregnant for a very long time, but I think she finally had a baby. They just haven't announced it, or maybe they have. But they were the only ones that voiced, that topic of a prenup on the show. But I'm guessing that a lot of families probably do that. After the first party, they have this fight, and honestly, I was confused. I didn't understand what the fight was all about until I think episode 8, and I was like, oh, okay, Fernanda is a very passionate person, and I think she has intense emotions is the best way that I can describe it. Anyhow, she says that she wants sex all the time, and he says that he doesn't, and that became the underlying problem of that argument. She goes out, takes her dog for a walk, comes back calm, and they settle things. He meets up with her friends, and the friends and he tells them that he's into sports. And I was like, okay. For me, it was a ball faced lie, but who am I to judge? They then say that Fernanda is a very passionate person and she can be very intense, but that when those times happen, he should just let her go for a run, and he can just stay at home, watch the dog, and watch some TV, and just let her. She has excess energy and she needs to burn it out, which I think is why she loves sports. Gerardo also meets Fernanda's brother. He didn't know anything about the experiment. He's very surprised about everything. Obviously, the experiment is shocking. It's shocking news. Like, you don't see somebody for 3 weeks and they come back engaged and ready to marry. everybody's going to take it almost the same way. It's a very shocking thing. However, we have so many variety of variations of Love is Blind right now, so many seasons that when somebody says I'm in Love is Blind, you kind of should know what to expect at this point in time. So the shock and awe that all these family members are still like, oh, well, I don't understand it. But again, different folks, different strokes. Moving on. Fernanda, they then talk about a little bit about her dad. Her dad has passed away, but they don't want to go into it. He doesn't know anything about her dad. She's very tight-lipped. The brother says he's not going to say anything in case they say something that she's not ready to divulge. The man has been dead 17 years. So Fernando was probably like 17 years old when he died. And I'm saying, what, was he in the Secret Service? Was he in the cartel? Like, what is it? Why are they being guarded about this situation? Is that difficult? Yes, but I wasn't getting the impression that, oh, it's a hard thing for me to talk about. That's why I don't want to talk about it. I was getting the impression like, shh, we don't talk about this. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't think we'll ever find out. At some point, Fernanda did meet Gerardo's family. Yes. Yeah, I was after the party. He surprised her with his family. It went very well. They really loved her, and the thing of exercise came up again. And I feel like they keep bringing that up because they know that it's going to be a thing in their courtship. It came up again, and they said that they kind of defended him and said that, oh no, when he puts his mind towards something, he usually does it. And she was like, okay, the mom was very nice actually, and sister is so gorgeous. And the meeting went well, everything went well. Next couple is Chema and Sylvia. So these couple they haven't had any problems. The honeymoon was great. Chema met Sylvia's mom. It went extremely well. After the party, Sylvia sees Chema's house. It is actually really, really nice. It's a very, very nice pad. Um, and then she meets up with Chema's friend and invites her own friend as well. I thought it was a smart strategy so she's not gang up all upon. I don't even I don't know that she was thinking that way, but it was going to be two guys and one girl, and she said that yeah, she wanted to even out the odds, and she also wanted her friend to meet Chema. The friend brings up the fact that Chema has always liked a certain kind of girl, has always dated a certain kind of physique. In his 101, he didn't bring it up to Sylvia, and the friend doesn't think that Chema will go through with the wedding. Iris and Renee, they're reunited. They decide to rejoin the experiment. She is all on board. I'm not really, I don't know. I can't trust it is the problem. And by the end of episode 8, I couldn't even trust Renee either. Not like, I like him. He's one of my favorite guys on this. But here's the thing. Renee shows up. He doesn't have any of his piercings. I was like, okay, first flag. Not red, but yellow. Iris shows up. She's wearing the ring that he gave her. Second flag. It's a little tinted this time. Let's say pink, you know? And they talk and they decide that they're going to reunite, and rejoin the experiment. Now, why I said that him showing up without his piercings is a flag is because I'm 100% sure that he took it out because he heard some. They probably told him about her comment that she didn't know he had piercings on his face. Like she knew about, I think, his ears, but not his nose. And it's these small things that you start to change in a relationship that trickle in, and they lead to mountains. They said, I think they say droplets lead to rivers or something like that. From drops of water flow or river. I don't know what the adage is, people, but I don't like the fact that he was so conscious of the fact that she doesn't like piercings that he took them out. Now it's piercings. I know, so maybe somebody will say it's not that big a deal. It's piercings. You can put them back, whatever. It's not that. It's the underlining message behind it. I'm willing to change myself to suit what you need. And it comes up again when they bring up the drinking, like it just keeps it he keeps it almost seems like he keeps trying to change himself to suit the kind of person that she wants, when the person that he is perfect for somebody else out there. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know, it's late in the night, it's been a long day, so maybe the message is not coming through, but I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say. How wearing the ring was calculated to me, it was kind of like a soft spot, like, oh look, I'm wearing it, take me back. Why did she want to come back into this experiment? Is it desperation? Is it the fact that she wants to be around Fernando? Like, there are just so many ifs for me with Iris started on a very high note for me and has slowly worked her way down to the bottom. because honestly, by the end of episode 8, I was like, no, Iris can you can throw Iris away for not even like in a bad way. It's just that the lies, they just kept coming, and they were so easy. They flowed so easily, and I'm just like, the hell is this really what you guys want to start your foundation on? It was crazy. Anywho, Iris meets up with Renee's family, and nobody. Oh my God, nobody was smiling. His sisters are absolutely gorgeous. He actually has a very beautiful family. Considering the guy himself, I'm not surprised. But his sisters were not smiling. The dad was not smiling. The mom was not. Nobody was smiling. The sister then asked, Priscilla was the one, because I feel like she asked all the right questions, and she made some really good comments that she deserves a name in this review. She asked, how many strong connections did Iris have? Iris' answer was, we had many, and then we whittled it down to three, and then they cut it off there. Now I don't know if production cut it off and didn't really let us hear the rest of the explanation. But the facial expression she had on, nah. Nah, 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 nah. That girl lied. And I wrote down she lied. Omission is still lying to me. They also brought up the fact that he drinks, and she said all she had to say about the drinking and all that situation. The sister then said, Priscilla said that she doesn't want her brother to change just because the girl doesn't like it. So apparently the drinking is a thing. I think it's a family thing. When they get together, they drink, they enjoy themselves, they have fun. Even the parents were justifying it, saying that they've never seen their children fight or quarrel, that they're very happy drunks. And I'm like, this guy, it's still my same argument. He is a freaking doctor. He is certified. He works as a doctor. You have to believe that he knows when to cut himself, right? I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you have such a huge problem with people who drink, why even consider the man in the first place, and then try to change him to bend him to your will. Now, is he trying to change himself to fit the description of the person that she wants? Yes. But isn't that just going to lead to resentment and hate in the end? Both parties are wrong in this, if I'm being honest. Anyway, Priscilla doesn't like Iris. Papa don't like Iris either. I don't think he hates Iris. I think he just doesn't believe them when they say, oh, they're ready and they're set, to go on this journey and all of that kind of stuff. They also decided to drop the news on their dad then that Renee has a vasectomy in the past, because they brought up children, and Iris said it's not a priority, and in fact she might not want to have a child just because her own history. Her brother is special needs, and she's thinking that when her mom passes away, that's how she will have to take care of her brother. I mean, valid point. But you don't always have to have children. But they dropped it on the dad that he had a vasectomy, because he too said he's not really willing, or he doesn't really prioritize children. So at least they agreed on that. And then they dropped the wedding date as well. So in all of this thing, it was just flag after flag after flag. I think that Renee should have sat his family down off camera and talked to them about this whole situation. Eased it in. I didn't think that on camera was the best place to be laying bombs on them like that. Plus, it was unfair to Iris, because she's sitting there trying to make a good impression on her future in-laws, and then you're just dropping this tick after tick after tick. He should have set that meeting up properly before introducing. I know they tell them not to, so that they can get the families, but it's still shocking no matter what. But you need to give your family, especially if you know your family, give them time to process it, so that when they come to see the person that is going to be your future spouse, everything is kind of already in perspective, and they can ask well-informed questions. Because at one point, the sister Priscilla was almost attacking them. Not really, but she was just speaking her mind. She was saying that there's no way that they should get married, that she can't support it. She's just calling it a spade a spade. I'm pretty sure they cut out a ton of what Priscilla said in that meeting, because the girl came with the fireman. She don't like Iris. I don't even know if it's Iris specifically. I think I think she don't like Iris. She doesn't like Iris. Honestly, they came in with vim. The way the sisters came into the scene, they came in angry. I'm not gonna lie. Do I blame them for not liking Iris? No, I think there's something definitely fundamentally missing there. It's all fun and roses, but the fundamentals and the foundations of their relationship, they haven't really ironed out. The fact that he drinks, the fact that he spends money he doesn't save, she saves, like it's all things that could potentially lead to trouble. The fact that he wasn't even her number one. Shall we even start there? And now she's even lying about it. I mean, it is what it motherfucking is, guys. Moving on. The mom, I don't, the family is not really sure that they will show up at the wedding. The mom said that she will try and show up just to support him because she loves him and she's his mother. Renee's family is still undecided by the end of the episodes, and dad is confirmed to not come to the wedding. Moving on. Oh, I think that's all the couples, is it? No. Francesca and Willie. Our guys showed up again. So the honeymoon was okay. But Willie still has this, deer in the headlights look about him, Oh my God, it's coming, it's due. I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? Look, Like he's trying to decide that when he should dip, not if he should dip. It's like, when am I dipping? Back at home, Francesca is talking to Willie about, introducing him to her daughter, and she calls him an any old fool. And I'm like, why you gotta say it like that? There's some things that you just don't play with. It had nothing to do with anything, but I just felt like the words that these people be using to each other is just you don't play like that, especially when you can see him. He's like a spooked animal. Don't say things that don't give him any reason, to just want to fly. He didn't, obviously he took it, he was like, don't call me that. And that was the end of it. But I just didn't like the joke. It wasn't funny to me. Willie has a video call with Francesca's family and it goes well. They're very laid back, very chilled. He gets to talk to her daughter as well. Like they're very chilled family, and they just, asked him about expectations and what he really wanted and all that kind of stuff. He then meets her friends. He says that he then asks too, and this was where I had a problem with him now. He said, what do you guys think of this circus? And I'm like, even if it's a joke, don't play. Anybody can call it a circus, but you that you are supposed to be getting married should definitely not be calling your situation a circus. I just don't know. They be playing too much, I think. They play too much. So even the friends could see that Willie was half in, half out. And they're asking him all these questions, and he's doing his best to answer. Overall, it still goes well. But the friends could see that he was very nervous about the whole thing. Willie then has a whole meltdown. It's like 2 weeks to the wedding, and he has a meltdown, and he decides that he wants to call off the whole thing. They have a visit with Fernanda and Gerardo. They come to their house. He tells them that he has just had a talk with Francesca and that he's going to call off the whole thing. After they leave, he decides that they should hit reset on the whole relationship and start all over again. I was like, are you in or are you out? And at this point, because I've always known that he was a flight risk from the very beginning, from the very episode that we saw him. I said this guy is a flight risk. I knew. However, I could see the fear, and it wasn't just. It was just the intense fear. Like whatever it was that he was feeling, he was extremely scared of it. He does seem like a stable guy. If he can commit, I think that he will be good. And I think that Francesca pushes him in all the right ways. However, I don't necessarily think that he's ready for the kind of commitment that this whole thing requires. So they do decide to take it one by one day at a time, and that's what they're doing right now. I said that the producers were evil. While they were crying, Francesca was wailing her eyes out. He was trying to console her. They were showing all the other couples happy, dancing, making out. I was like, what kind of evil producers are this? It was horrible, horrible. And they splice those videos, those scenes, just to make it look like everybody else is happy and they are suffering. Producers, they need to throw all of them away. It's good TV though, but they need to throw all of them away. Francesca is now learning to manage Willie. She's saying that she has to give him space. Whenever she does that and she doesn't pressure him too much, he does better. And I'm like, he's supposed to be your husband. He's not your. Why are you managing him? But we move, people, we move. Willie apparently appreciated how Francesca handled the entire situation, and she meets with his family, his mom and dad over video call, and his sisters with his nephew come over. The sisters love her. this, and especially the older sister, even the family, the visit goes very well. They think that she's perfectly suited for him and that she will be the perfect push for him to actually achieve the things that he wants to. So now we go to the first meetup. So the first meetup, I read everybody is just chilling. I think it was just a get together. It was a barbecue that they were having, and that's when Iris and Renee show up. Karen is like holding it together for as long as she could, but she couldn't keep Hakuba on that leash, people. And if you know who Hakuba is, there's a character in One Piece called Cavendish. Luffy calls him Cabbage. Whenever he falls asleep. Hakuba comes out. Hakuba is a bloodthirsty swordsman, and he just kills anybody in his path. I called Karen Hakuba because she really did, honestly, unleash the evil side of her. Like, you could just tell that it was tension. It had been brewing, and she just didn't know where to put it. Plus, the drinking and everything, so it all just came out.
Look at all of us
You know
together.
what was really shocking to me?
What?
How they're both so happy when Iris declared her love to Fernando. Like,
No.
Poor Renee, he just had to sit there and hear his whole relationship being called second choice, how she had been in love with, Fernando and all that kind of stuff. Karen really let her have it. But in the end, it had to come out. Shout out to Fernando for sticking to his woman. Honestly, he did amazing. If I'm being honest, he did try to help her calm down and try to, like, diffuse the situation. But for the most part, he stuck to his woman. And I like that. Honestly, I really do. That's the kind of thing that you want to see. You can chastise her when you guys are behind closed doors, but in front of everybody, we are a unit. I liked it. I really did. Now, Iris does no, not Iris. Karen does get agitated afterwards because Fernando was trying to talk to her and say, you know what, you don't have to like her, but maybe don't comment on their relationship. You can comment just on, or don't bring it up again. You said what you wanted to say, and starting to get agitated about it, and I was like, Karen, don't let this come into your relationship. Your relationship is fine. Don't let it disturb what you've got going on. They do talk about it, and in the morning they settle things, which is when she started feeling guilty about Renee and wanted to apologize. In that whole thing, people were saying, okay, what's the situation? The couples were saying, what's the situation? Why is Karen coming for Iris now? So Fernando talks about the gifts that Karen had given him in the pods. Somebody then says, oh, but I think it was Gerardo. Gerardo asked Iris, oh, but did you declare your love for Fernando? Iris said no. And I was like, lie. A lie. It's in 4K. We can rewind where you were saying, give us a chance. Is there any hope? Blah, blah. You know what? Maybe she didn't. I think she did, though. I think she did. Guys, I'm watching a lot. So maybe I don't remember, but I think she did. Fernando doesn't call her out. She's looking at him like saying, don't put me on blast, don't put me on blast. He sees and he goes, but he doesn't say anything. Later on, he confirms to Gerardo and Fernanda that yeah, she did declare herself in the pods, but you know what? It's all in the past right now. And this was where I realized that Gerardo doesn't like Karen, because the way he was talking about Karen, it was definitely accusing Karen of, I mean, what she did was kind of out there. I don't know if it was bad, but it was kind of out there. She put Iris on blast, but Fernanda was defending Karen, and I was like, I feel like this will also come into play in their relationship, because it looks like he is always attacking Karen for something, and she's always defending Karen for, like, trying to. She always comes from the path of understanding, but Gerardo seems to just be on the attack whenever it comes to Karen. Let me know in the comments if you guys think or you saw that as well. Anywho, by the end of the night, Fernando, Renee, and Iris sit down, and Karen does tell her that, I thought you were a stand-up person, blah 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 blah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're not friends anymore. And then that kind of goes away. The second party was Sylvia's birthday, and everyone is going but Fernanda. Fernanda said that she just wasn't up for it and she didn't want to go. So she also said that people don't like her, they only tolerate her. So I think this is another another scenario where her emotions were heightened again, and it was intense because I don't know that we haven't seen anything of people not liking Fernanda, have we? But I guess production, maybe they cut it out. Who knows? Anywho, Chema does take Sylvia out, so everybody else surprises Sylvia, plus some extras from the pod. We see a lot of people, but I don't even remember their names because they're not really on it right now. But the most important person that to show up was Mafa. And Gerardo is all upset that he's alone now. He does not protect Fernanda in this. He tells them that she didn't want to come, these are that. I said, and I was like, that is not right. I don't care that you had a tiff with your spouse, but you protect them. So you said she wasn't feeling fine, and she said that I should go have fun. Protect them, and then dead it there. But he was making it so obvious that he was upset, and that it was a thing that she didn't want to come out. Sometimes you just don't want to come out. It is okay. Maybe it wasn't the first time, and that's why he was having a problem with it. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like him, so there's really nothing that he can do that will impress me on this show. And also, why is it that every time that he is doing his interview, there's a sticky guitar beside him? We know that you are a musician. Why must the guitar sit there? He doesn't strum it, he doesn't play, he doesn't do it. It's just sitting there like a dead animal. What? I really don't like him. Anywho, Martha shows up. Francesca was not happy when she showed up. Her face was like, no. She goes right up to Gerardo and says, don't trust her. She's a snake in a grass bitch. That's exactly what she said. I'm not really sure what Martha did to Francesca in the pods, but man, it did show up in this gathering. Anyhow, they then make Martha sing the song. They don't make her, they ask her, they're talking about the things that happen in the pod. They say Martha wrote a song for Gerardo. They make her, she sings like the first, I don't know, she just sings part of the song. Um, and then Gerardo was more upset about the optics of being alone than he was of actually being alone. And I think he made it into something that it was not. Because had he just said, no, she wasn't feeling great, and I wanted to stay home with her, but she said I should come have fun and represent us here. Simple. Simple. It would have been dead and gone. Anybody they ask, yeah, she's not feeling too great, but she's at home and she'll be well. I'll be going back to her soon. Now, he didn't protect her, and I didn't like it. Anyhow, Karen uses the opportunity to apologize to Renee. Renee says it's all good, he forgives it. But there was this one busybody from the pods, from the men's lounge. His name, I don't remember his name. It's not important for me to remember his name. But he brings up the fact that Chema's preference is not Sylvia, and asks how Chema felt when he finally met Sylvia. And Chama starts going on this long tirade saying that he didn't like Sylvia's dress and her eyelashes, but that was it. But he doesn't technically answer the question. He doesn't say how he actually feels to be with Sylvia, and that I don't know. He just doesn't technically answer the question. Sylvia puts up a brave face. She's like, "Yeah, you told me all of this, which is fine," but she's honestly upset. So again, it goes back to the same thing. Him saying in front of everybody he didn't like the dress, he didn't like the eyelashes. It's delivery, piss poor delivery, which was my problem with Chema in the pods. Remember when I said it? Piss poor delivery. Because out of all the spouses, I think Chema has been the most consistent with his affection towards his partner. Everybody else has kind of like, here and there, it's been a little wavy, it's been a little something. But because he surprised me so much, he has been very consistent with how much he has loved up on Sylvia. Will he marry her? I don't know. I really don't know. Everybody is saying that she is not his type. So I'm very confused. I think maybe he's just playing it out till the wedding and then he can call it quits. Who knows? Anyhow, Sylvia then she tells him that she's not happy with his response. She calls him out right there, and he sort of reassures her. But by the time they get back home later on, he does apologize properly, and they smooth things over. Sylvia then meets Chema's mom and his brother, and it doesn't go well, man. Mom does not want them to get married. I don't think she likes Sylvia. Her face from the first moment that she saw Sylvia did not say, "Oh, you're gonna be my daughter-in-law." Not at all. It was not good. So the last scene was obviously the dress fitting. I haven't really been seeing a lot of dresses that I like, so we're just gonna go through them real quick. Karen, I love the veil more than I love the dress. Sylvia's second dress was a yes because that, believe it or not, is the same as my wedding dress that I actually never got to wear because I never actually had a huge wedding. So yeah, someone started GoFundMe for me so that I can have a wedding. But that's the exact same dress, so I had no reason not to love it. It was beautiful. Even seeing it on her, I was like, oh, that's my dress. It's so cute. It's up in my room somewhere, tucked away. Hopefully one day I'll be able to use it in an actual party, but who knows. Francesca's wedding dress was a no for me. Yeah, I didn't like it. Iris was cute. I would not personally wear it, but it suited her very well. She looked like a freaking queen in that, and I loved it for her. Fernandez for me was a hot no. Did not like it. But yeah, like I said, I don't talk about the suits. I have no interest in those. Next time that you guys see me, it will be for, recapping the weddings. It'll be real quick who said no, who said yes, all that all that shebang, and then we will do the reunions because the reunions are always the tea, people. At some point I'm just gonna be doing reunions. I wouldn't even watch the season because we all know what Love is Blind is at this point. And honestly, there are no surprises anymore. It's become full on drama TV. So maybe I'll just be doing the reunion. I'll definitely do UK's reunion. I have been watching that, but I'm not covering it because honestly, I don't have the bandwidth for that much. Queen E is covering it and she does a fantastic job. So some of you already follow her. Feel free to go watch her videos because I know I'll be watching them. But I will be doing a reunion reaction for Love is Blind UK and Love is Blind Mexico. But yeah, hopefully I got my point across. Like I said, it's late. I'm a little tired, but I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Oh god, yes. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to do all the right things and I will see you in the next one. Bye.